Hi there, my name's Alex Belinsky and I'm the founder of Prepare to Serve, and I'm excited to share some crazy and spiritual and funny experiences all from the Honduras San Pedro Sula mission. So I hope you enjoy. From Samuel. In northern Honduras, the college students would throw rocks at us and yell, "Yankee, go home!" It was a tense situation. Emily. We got robbed on the bus at Machete Point. Stephen, walking past the bar and almost getting caught in a gunfight between two drunks. Tulafale. In Santa Barbara, my first area, my companion and I got caught in a heavy rainstorm coming down from the tiny mountain called El Escondido. We were sure that the shortcut down would save us time and would be most safe. We were sliding on our bottoms down the mountain, the side of the muddy hill we had been trekking down. I was so afraid I hadn't noticed that I had been grasping my companion's hand super tight, laugh aloud. But we made it home safely, dirty and soaked in rainwater, but safe. Dane, when I only had 4 months, 2 months in Honduras, my second companion decided he wanted to go hiking up a river on the far side of our area. We were followed by 2 men, and after we very athletically bounded up the river for a half mile to lose them, they stepped out in front of us. We were robbed at Machete Point. One man stood back a ways and said he had a gun. They took everything except our clothes. I spoke very little Spanish and was scared out of my mind. I don't blame Dane. That sounds pretty scary. Samuel. One evening in La Ceiba, Honduras, we were on our way home and a group of students met us on the street and began throwing rocks at us, yelling insults and anti-American slogans. There were 4 of us at that time, and one elder had been a pitcher in Major League Baseball. And after the 3rd or 4th rock bounced by, he picked one up and let them have it. When they saw that he could throw farther than they could, they all scattered. All it took was 1 rock. We had no more problems with rock throwing after that. They must have thought we all had good arms. Emily, having a random stranger cut stairs into the mountain with his machete so we could visit an investigator at the top of the mountain after a landslide. Stephen, my companion and I had walked 2 miles up to an investigator's house to teach, but they weren't home. I got really frustrated and angry because we had walked so far. On our way, it started to rain, but it stopped right before we arrived. So before we started to walk to our backup plan, my companion could tell I was upset. So he motioned for me to walk over to the tree he was standing next to and for us to shake it as hard as we could. So we did, and a bunch of water fell on us. Immediately we started to laugh and continue on with our day. Tulafale. When I was in the Bella Vista branch in Olanchito on a Sunday, a member noticed that my shoes were so worn out that she took me out to buy new shoes the next preparation day. She called me out for having such unpresentable shoes, but also credited me for working so hard. Still makes me laugh every time I think about it. Dane, one time during a baptismal service held at night, a small bat flew into the chapel. It was flying back and forth across the room at 100 miles per hour for about 15 minutes. We steadfastly pushed on with our service, doing the talks and everything. I was struggling to keep a serious face while watching the bat. Finally, the bishop stood up, took someone's coat, and when the bat flew over him, he trapped it in the coat and took it outside. At that point, nobody could contain their laughter. Samuel. Baptizing people that I worked hard to teach. Emily. The times when we would contact someone for the first time and they would tell us they'd been praying and waiting for help. Stephen. We had a family that had been receiving the missionaries for 2 years. They wouldn't accept the baptismal date, but still wanted us to come over and share and read the scriptures. So we went over one night in a nasty storm where the power went out. We had to get candles, and we started to share some scriptures that we had studied that morning. After I finished sharing, I looked up and the family was whispering one to another and smiling. I asked if everything was okay, and they told me that they had been waiting to hear a verse like what I had shared, but nobody had shared that verse before, and that they felt like they were now ready to be baptized. We baptized the family 3 weeks later. Tulafale. In La Victoria, a tiny area in La Estaca Fesitran, I had so many spiritual experiences, mostly for the fact that my companion, a new elder, and I were opening the area a few months after not having its own missionaries. Brother Murillo approached us and asked, "Elders, are you assigned to the area Lopez? Coming to do some work in Victoria?" I replied with a confident smile, saying, "No, brother, we are the elders assigned to Victoria." He broke out in tears and said, "We've been praying for missionaries, and we have lots of work to do. Let's get to work." The most spiritually awakening moment for me in my mission. realizing that not only the Lord is praying and watching over his missionaries, but so are the members and those who aren't members yet. So much work was done there. And Brother Murillo played a huge part in that work. He and his wife are huge member missionaries in Victoria. If you ever get assigned there, look for him. You tell him Elder Tulafale loves him and his family. Dane. Teaching and baptizing Tadeo and Alba in La Pineda La Lima. Their conversion took me 3 transfers and 3 companions. Tadeo also always talked about he and I had been brothers in the pre-existence, and I had been his sent to find him. He had been taught before, but never progressed until I taught him. He is 6'6", and I am 5'6", so his baptism was a little challenging physically. The most spiritual part was the night when Tadeo asked us if we worship Joseph Smith over Christ, despite us having already taught that principle. When it sunk in that Joseph was really a prophet, Tadeo admitted he believed and that he wanted to get baptized. This was after several months of lessons. Well, I hope you enjoyed those stories from the San Pedro Sula mission. If you happen to serve in that mission and you're willing to, we'd love for you to fill out a survey to share experiences, testimony, advice. So you can go to preparetoserve.com/survey and fill out the survey there in the Google form. If you're willing to be video interviewed about your mission, we'd love to video interview you. We do the interviews in Utah, where we live, and they usually last about an hour, hour and a half. And you could just message us on our website, our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, however you want to. Thank you so much for watching this, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.